guys. Hey, you guys, check this out, man. Check this out. I'm gonna share with you my TikTok live and what Grok was saying because was trying to switch shit up when I was asking the same question. Oh my god, it's weird. So check this out, folks. Um, we're gonna go ahead and go there. Oh my gosh, what's this? Oh no, here we go. Wait. Oh my goodness, wait. Oh, come on. Oh, well, I'm gonna get it here. You know what I did do? I did do this. It's like I think they scrubbed the whole conversation from Grok, you guys. I'm trying to find them. Like what? But I had just literally got done screenshotting the whole thing. So what the? This is getting deep. This is so trippy. All right, so holy shit. How am I gonna access this now? So I gotta go over here. Oh my god, this is getting deep. This is getting deep. More than I anticipated. I gotta go back to my. Hold on now. It's coming. Here we go. Mm-mm-mm. It's about to get crazy, folks. Don't tell me none of that shit's safe. Mm. So he says right now is December 2025. Bitcoin swings around 87 to $90,000. It dipped below 88K today after teasing 90K earlier. The whole market's been choppy all month, wiping out chunks of the year's gains. Main culprits of these wild swings: heavy leverage getting washed out, way too many over leveraged positions heading to cascading liquidations whenever price moves sharp. We've seen billions wiped in single days. Profit taking after the big run. Crypto pumped hard earlier in the year on Trump pro crypto vibes. And ETF inflows um, tighter correlations with stocks, especially tech and NASDAQ. When equities get jittery about rates, tariffs, and AI hype cooling off, crypto feels it hard. Holiday in thin liquidity, low volume this week makes every trade more, the price more. Plus, ETF outflows picking up again. Fading hype, the post-election Trump bump didn't stick as long as people hoped. The sentiment flipped to fear, and greed index is sitting in extremely fear territory right now. Basic cryptos after over-leveraged euphoria meets reality amplified by low holiday trading. So then I said, well, give me some information about the recent 2026 December expiry year, where I believe 23.9 or 6 billion in expiries were options trades were expired on, And it says, yep, spot on. That December 26th expiry was massive, the biggest ever, around 23 to 24 billion in Bitcoin options alone. Deribit, total crypto hit 27 to 28 billion with Ethereum, was bigger than anything before. The max pain point sat up at around 95K, meaning dealers and market makers had huge incentives to keep price pinned below that, let alone ton of calls expired worthless. That's exactly why we got stuck with a brutal 85 to 89 or to 90K chop all month. Gamma hedging on steroids, post expiry, a bunch of that penny pressure lifted, so we're seeing these sharper moves again. But with holiday volume still thin and every swing feels exaggerated, that expiry definitely flushed out a lot of the overhang that's been capping the upside. Classic gamma squeeze in reverse. So then I like to say, I said, well, there was a strike zone down in the 85,000 and the gamma was up near 94. So they kept it in the delta neutral zone right between. And I noticed that on the 26th of December, I want to say Kraken, Wintermute, Coinbase, BlackRock, OKX, Binance all sold a considerable amount of Bitcoin and dumped the price. I mean, it was literally about 2.5 billion sell up on Bitcoin, which dumped the market down from 89,000 to 86,000. And they were able to start pumping it back up to keep it from hitting that strike zone. And AI says, yeah, get this thing on. Says, yeah, you're pretty much nailing the mechanics there. Heavy put walls down around 85K and call gamma clustered high toward 94 to 95K, kept dealers delta hedging like crazy. Stay neutral, which pinned us in dead center. Market manipulation, well, hard to say no. Let's keep going. So on the 26th itself, price did flirt around 89K early, then wicked down into the mid 86 during some thin hour dumps. On chain tracks lit up with big flows from Wintermute, Binance wallets, Coinbase custodials tied to BlackRock, Fidelity ETF rebalancing, OKX, and yeah, Kraken too. The 2.5 billion in coordinated selling narrative blew apart on CT that day, with Arkham style labels showing clusters of multi-thousand BTC hits on short windows. A lot of it was almost certainly dealers, market makers unwinding gamma post expiry, selling spot to flatten delta once the big option books rolled off. Mixed with year-end profit taking and ETF outflows, once those puts expired worthless and the gamma clamp released, the dump stopped in the bleed right above the 85K strike. Almost textbook magnet defense until the hedging pressure vanished. Since then, we've just been grinding sideways in the low 2 to mid 80s with holiday dust still settling. Classic expiry theater. Damn. So then I said, I also want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but as soon as Binance, BlackRock, OKX, Wintermute, and Coinbase, Kraken, all of them dumped as much Bitcoin as they did, that also short. Oh, and I just threw this out there because I was wondering. Folks, and I wanted to know because I was like trying to coordinate just how much because it did dump a little bit longer, and there was still some. It was like an hour-long dump, and these guys just dumped for half an hour, and so I'm thinking there was more dumping going on by other companies, wasn't there? I wonder who was responsible. Was it Cumberland? Was it Jane Street? Was it who? Which one was it? So I had to ask. I had to go there, and I said, okay, so look at all of them dumped as much Bitcoin as they did. That also shorted the market, and I believe there was a bunch of leveraged shorts taken out at that time by some of these other market makers. I don't know. Can you look into it for me? Was it GSR, maybe Cumberland, Citadel, Key Rock? I'm sure they were taking potential shorts on the market, on the futures market too, just to amplify the drop. Is that possible? Can you look into it? It says totally possible. Oh, look at this kid's. Yep. It says totally possible, folks. And honestly, that's exactly how it looked in real time. As soon as those big spot sell hit and two and a half billion clustered, perpetual futures basically crashed hard. Funding went from mildly positive to negative 200 to 300 annualized in minutes. That screams fresh shorting piling on top of the spot pressure. Sark, Cumberland, and a couple Wintermute related tags flipping from net to long aggressive shorts right in that window. And the usual suspects, Jump, Keyrock, and even some Citadel connected wallets, were stacking shorts at that 89K and 90K zone. Liquidations heat maps lit up like Christmas trees. Over 1.2 billion and longs got wrecked between 89 and 86K in under 2 hours. Almost all retail leverage above 29 or 20 times getting stop hunted. It was textbook stop dumps, stop triggers, perps, cascades, funding flips, pro desk leans on the short side to push it back further and collect the liquidity below the range. Once the cascade burned itself out around 85.8K, shorts started covering fast and we whipped right back to 88,000. Classic grab the liquidity below the flip and play. That happens every big expiry. So yeah, you're not wrong at all. That's pretty much exactly what happened with the tape and what the tape read that day. Oh, what the? So we're just seeing that big money, Citadel, Cumberland, like Jane Street, Jump Traders, Digital Traders, Key Rock, BlackRock, Blackstone, Grayscale, um, Wintermute, Cumberland, Alameda. I can go on, folks. GSR. Um, all these people, these are big money players who currently control the market and the price of these cryptocurrencies. And what do? They make stop loss hunting. You heard, I mean, AI calls it stop loss hunting. They hunt down your stop loss orders, making liquidity grabs. And those big like flash crashes we see in this market, that's straight up dumper bumper, rumper dump skin. That's big money dump pulling it, hey, they can pump it and they can dump it. And in this market, they can do whatever they have the control. So you have to learn how to navigate safely in this market. It's not about trying to like, and a lot of traders are trying to hit a home run and hit a home run and hit. I just want to hit a grand. I just need to hit a grand. You can't. It's not designed like this. Market is not fucking designed for grand slams, folks. I mean, there's times you can hit a grand slam, but it's not about how much you invest in the market. It's about how much time you invest in the market. This isn't financial advice. Don't ever buy or sell or trade anything ever based on anything you guys hear on these channels and from these YouTubers. And I'll tell you this: a lot of these YouTube streamer people out there, they're using institutional bot algorithms to make their trades. They don't know shit about this market. They've been wrecked. And how do they stop getting wrecked? They started using those institutional, you know, uh, buy orders and sell order and signals because they're using AI algorithms for institutional fucking arbitrage bots. The same things that they're doing to dump the market. You got a lot of these day traders trading that way, and they're trying to break it down like, well, this is I've learned that you didn't learn shit. You're following the leader, and the leader is big money. So don't sit here and play like you want to. And what I get frustrated about, folks, and I do get heat, I do get emotional about it because I don't. I mean, any fucking buddy could go and buy an algorithm from big money. And I don't mind if people do. I encourage it. Hey, if you don't want to fucking get wrecked in this market, go get your ass an institutional algorithm and just stick it on your trading platform or on your trading whatever program and make your trades that way. And you're probably not going to lose, or you'll lose a lot less, or you won't make as much as big money, but you will be safe. And that's a fact. Or you can I mean, look, I will break it down. I'm not a fucking gatekeeper. I'm a whistleblower. I'm here exposing their hand, giving you guys the information on who is responsible for the market swings, the volatility, the dumps, the crashes, all of it. It's big money. It's Wintermute. It's these companies. and they do it coordinatedly. So when they get mad if retail tries to like get together and we all just we do coordinated things, they get pissed about it. They're like, you fuckers can't do that. Well, why not? You guys are doing it. You're doing it with your big. You're doing it via big firms. You're doing it with arbitrage bots. We're just trying to do it as retail me's and you's and individuals. What the fuck you mean we can't do it? So there is a way to do it, you know what I mean? But I can't tell anybody what to do, and I will never tell anybody what to do. But what I can tell people, and what I will tell people, is I have developed a trading strategy that is the strategy that basically I'm not trying to be. I'm not. I don't short the market. All right, because a lot you short the market, you then cool. You're short it, do it, your thing. But I'm not a shorting guy. I don't like to short shit. I want to see things grow. Let's grow, right? Let's see things pump. I'm about pumping things up. You know, I don't hang out. I don't hang out at a gym to get small muscles. You know what I mean? No, I want to pump things up. So I develop a trading strategy based on pumping crypto up, and it's called the Diamond Ladder Protocol. And what I've done is I've taken the fear out of trading. I've taken the speculation and worry and oh gosh. And I don't really day trade. I think it's more like swing trading, is what someone told me. And I'm like, cool, whatever the fuck it is, it's working. You know what I mean? And even some folks like they've looked at my prior content here, and they look and they go, oh, there's one dude Jeffro has been implementing it. I couldn't believe he said his family thanks me in one of my lives. He said, my family thanks you. And I had to stop my life. I got choked up a little bit. I was like, what? Boy, like, stop, bro. I took screenshots of it. And, like, if I can just help one person to stay safe in this market, then mission accomplished. Yeah, I mean, like, fucking. And I don't think anybody should have to worry about getting ripped off or be exit liquidity for big money just dumping and shit all over retail. And retail doesn't even know how. Like, a lot of folks don't understand this. And a lot of folks think that, if I just follow this trader and that trader you're following and the dude that you're paying money to, he just bought himself an institutional algorithmic trading. He's just playing off of buy signals and sell signals as big money is just flowing the market. And so, yeah, there's a safe way to trade. It can whatever. That's not trading. That's just following the leader. I want to change the market. I'm not going to say anything. Because we can check out my content if you guys are interested in learning how to effectively trade. I'm not going to say don't ever buy or sell or trade anything based on anything you hear people talk about on their channels. Do your own research. Study some shit. I mean, the more you know, the more you can effectively position yourself to take advantage of this market. Because this market is a very advantageous market once you understand it completely. But a lot of people don't. And no one talks about it. But I will. Because I think it's very prevalent. It's very prevalent. People know that there are institutions that are trading against retail to make liquidation grabs on their stop loss orders. Fucking stop loss orders. And what's funny is, like, when I could pull up an AI right now, any artificial intelligence, and I could ask it about some crypto, and I'll ask it to give me a breakdown. I'll ask it to run it down for me, and it gives me just surface shit. How can I trade safely? Well, you need to really mitigate your risk and put your stop loss, real tight stop losses, and this and that. I'm like, oh, so I can hand my money to big money and let me just gift wrap it for him. I might as well just send it to him in a fucking envelope if that's what you want me to do. So, again, not financial advice, folks. I got two people in here. Well, you two people may have just discovered something here in my content. Anyway, let's continue here. So, January are absolutely stacked with fresh all open interest. Looks like a lot of the same desks plus the new retail FOMO are buying calls outright and doing call spreads again to bet on a breakout above the 90K. It's the same. They're doing it again. Retail's doing it again. The options trade, folks. They're building up a gamma zone at 94,000, and they're lowering the put zone, the strike zone. It's down at 80,000 now. So there's a bigger spread. I can guarantee you this. And just if you're here trying to search for content or information on this market, look, Bitcoin is the one coin that rules them all right now. So we have another huge gamma clustering starting up at 94,000, and we have that strike that's now at 80,000, not 85. So uh, I'm not a genius, but I will guarantee that during January we're going to see Bitcoin drop down to probably like 81,000, and it's going to jump up to about 93,000, and it'll range in between that zone because that's where the gamma and the putz is. And so because it's a wider range, we can have more volatility, and that's going to really get a lot of more money out of retail because they're not going to understand how this is going to work. So, folks, not financial advice, but just keep your eye on the range of Bitcoin. And it'll probably range in between 94,000 and 80,000. All right. And if you're trading on other coins or whatnot, find out where that range lies for those coins. Um, it's it's not a very big range. And I'll tell you this: don't if you're trading, keep your leverage low, even on the range, because who knows? I know that no. If you can get in with a decent leverage, and you get in around the 80,000, 81, 82,000 zone, yeah, ride that. Put some leverage on it and ride that up because they're not going to drop it down and drop Bitcoin lower just to take your liquidation level when there's a huge bunch of strike zone. They have to pay a bunch of people if it hit below that. So yeah, I would say, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say do your own research. So, you can always do your own research. But I've got things I'm keeping my eye on right now. My good eye, at least. All right, folks, let's continue here. Basically, everyone's learning that lesson for December. Low calls are squeezed, but kept puts underneath because markets may grow happily nuke it again if gamma cluster is too high. It's the same strangle mark setup we just lived through. Just reposition 5K lower. Feels like traders are itching for the next leg up and scared shitless of getting caught leaning the wrong way again. Classic post-expiry PTSD turning into fresh greed. And I'm like, so it would seem that retail hasn't learned their lesson or they don't really understand how the market works. Don't options traders know about the delta zone and the strike zone, the gamma zone, and that what is it called, a delta neutral zone? And it says, oh, they know it all right. At least I'm like, so what? It would just seem that they don't care, or they just fear and greed. So here's another one, folks. This current crypto market, it operates like the algorithms these institutions use to know where retail is kind of getting, thinks things are going. It's straight fear and greed. That's it, based on just fear and greed. Look at that fear and greed index. If there's a lot of fear, things are probably going to start pumping. When there's a lot of greed, it's dumping. And that's not always the case, but I'd probably say 9 times out of 10. And ask your AI. I mean, ask an AI about it. Put Grok on expert mode and see what he has to say. See what it has to say about it. And here's what it says. It says, well, we'll see if the cluster everything tighter. Say I calls at 92 and K puts at 86. If gamma exposure, yeah, because I was wondering. I said, well, what if retail just like made tighter gamma, or tighter strike zones and tighter gamma spreads or whatnot, and just kind of shorten it. And it's like, nah, it would cause more volatility. It'd just be quicker swings up and down. People would probably get wrecked. It'd just be over a wonkier market. So I mean, the fact that people are putting, spreading out the gamma and the strike zone so far is going to give us some room to breathe for if you're, possibly perp trading or futures trading. Not financial advice. Never buy or sell or trade anything based on anything you get on these channels. That would be a very bad idea. Let's continue here. So I'm like, I just went through the whole strategy and showed you this market is crazy, guys. It's not meant for the meek. It's not meant for the uneducated, and it's not meant for the scared. You can't have fear in this market. You have to, I mean, if you're trading in this market, you have to. And I guess I'm a swing trader. I don't know. I know that day trading is cool, and people like to scalp. I'm not a scalper. I'm not trying to like jump in and hopefully just hit a home run. I got lucky back on like my first day trading with money back on August 6th of 2024. Yeah, I was like, I was getting, I guess it was like the start of the bull market or something weird because the price went down, 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 down. It had been ranging the whole first, like the whole month of July was ranging, and then August it just starts plummeting, and the damn gym was just got wrecked out of $400 in like 3 hours, and then it went from like 42 cents to 65 cents. And I was putting 50x trades, $50 trades with 50x leverage, just riding it and going, yeah. And I turned that $400 left into like $2,600. Started with 1,000. I thought it was like, ooh, I know what I'm doing. This market has taught me a lot. And not just a lot in like trading and patience and understanding. And I mean, folks, this has been a wild ride. I would say, I can't say blood, but I can say sweat and tears for sure. For sure. Sweat and tears. Like sweat and tears. I was sweat and stressing. Oh, soda. And then tears, like, why? And then anger, like, oh my God. And frustration. It's just been through all the emotions in a short amount of time. But my mind is a lot sharper than most, I believe. So I was able to put all of connect all the dots. And there's a lot of dots. There's whew. And what helped was I got into the ISO tokens. Those like XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, IOTA, Algorand, Polygon, Quant, ADA, Avalanche. Um, Great tokens, man. Um, but it was always kind of like interesting to me to see like XRP beats the SEC lawsuit, the price goes down. Like, what the hell? Uh, HBAR launches some ETFs, the price shoots up a little bit and then goes down, dumps way lower. Like, what? And it makes me wonder, like, so how is it that when Bitcoin gets bullish news and ETFs and shit, the price moons, but these other tokens, they get the same news, the same, even more bullish in other regards, but they get shit on in price. Why? So I had to really go in and dive deep, and the deeper you dive, the more dark it gets. I'll tell you that. And I think it's probably like one of the most realistic things I could tell people. The deeper you dive into this market, the darker it's going to get. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, for sure. And if I was going to encourage anybody to look into making some sound positions for the future financial market, I would encourage them to look into the ISO tokens and see what they're capable of. I myself, personally, I'm a fan of XRP. I'm a bigger fan of XDC. I'm a bigger fan of XLM, but XRP is for the banks. XLM is for the people. XDC has a smaller market cap than both, and it's for the trade finance. Algorand and IOTA are for micropays. Algorand is also going to be like, there's just so much information I could throw at you guys. It would be analysis paralysis for me to try and even start in this live and just go, break it all down. But I'm just going to, throw out a little blueprint, throw out a little idea of what's going on, show you folks how this market is operating currently. It's not operating on normal factors. It's strictly operating on supply and demand. And it's obvious when most of the retail has like what 1% of the wealth and 1% of the population of 99% of the wealth. We're not going to move this market, or we could if we did it coordinatedly. Yeah, we could. We could. Retail has the ability to coordinatedly really move this market because enough people are adopting a proper strategy without any fear, with diamond hands, and enough. I mean, With these ISO tokens, I've narrowed it down. I've had multiple AIs tell me it would take 10,000 traders. I'm like, man, if I could get 10,000 traders to adopt my strategy and just here, do this with these tokens, and guess what? It's a win-win. Not financial advice, folks. Don't ever buy or sell or trade anything based on anything you hear on these channels. Don't do it. Not a good idea. Always do your own research. Study shit. The more you know, the more you can grow. And money was meant to work. You can work for money, or you can make money work for you. It's really your choice. It's not a Rubik's cube. Um, but I would do both. If I wasn't paralyzed, if I hadn't paralyzed myself in a car accident, I would be doing both gladly. But I'll tell you this right now: if I didn't paralyze myself in a car accident, I wouldn't know shit about crypto. Wouldn't be here talking to my computer to you folks. None of it. So, can I say everything happens for a reason? Yeah, it does. Am I pissed that I'm paralyzed? No, I'm not. Not happy about it, but it could be worse. And with the future that I'm able to put together because I have the time now, whereas before all I had the time to do was work. I didn't have the time to study a financial market. I didn't have the time to learn crypto. I was working working on my feet all day, running around. So just know that no matter how hard you work or how hard, life may be, you have the ability to make a difference. And you have the ability to change the reality in which you're in. And if you love the reality in you're in, then cool. Then just share it. I'm definitely not upset with where I'm at. I wish this market would do things quicker, but again, it's not about how much you put into the market as it is how much time you put in the market. And so, if you guys have any questions regarding positioning or trading or potential cryptos or what they're getting designed for, where they're headed, where this financial system's headed, feel free to DM me or leave a comment in the chat. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. I do have a Discord, but you'd have to ask for it. I just don't give it out. I don't care. It's not that important. I'm more happy just being able to sit here and share the information on YouTube. But again, I'm not a gatekeeper. I think it's very important that these things be addressed and talked about in this market. Companies like Jane Street, Key Rock, Citadel, Alameda, fucking Cumberland, Wintermute, Kraken. Hey, here's the other one. Kraken, Binance, fucking Coinbase, Ninja Traders. I'm sure every trading exchange, BTCC, all of them have liquidator bots and liquidators that are trading against retail when the books get heavy. And they're not trying to pay people out. So they're not, again, it's there is a way to properly trade in this market. It's without fear. And it's what you hear about diamond hands. That's kind of big money telling us how to win. Diamond hands. They give us the blueprint and people don't get it. They want to get greedy. You get greedy, you get wrecked. Unless you have enough liquidity to be greedy and not be wrecked. Let that sink in. And for example, I trade on BTCC. I get to control my trade's liquidation level by how much I'm able to throw into my free margin. So if I put more money in my free margin, my liquidation level goes down. And for me as a trader, on the tokens that I trade on, when I take my trades, I don't have a liquidation level. With the leverage I apply, and it doesn't matter what leverage I want to apply on the trade, I make sure that when I take that trade, there is no liquidation level. I can't get liquidated because it doesn't register, because I have ample enough money in my liquidity pool. I don't trade, I farm. And there's a way you can, it's hard to explain this to people, but I would say if you're interested in farming, crypto, or even just farming money in crypto, I have a great trading strategy that would enable you to do so. And it's a diamond ladder protocol. ISO token only, and enjoy. I mean, use it. It's not gonna. You won't lose. I haven't had one person tell me yet in any of my when I'm doing a live, they jump in. They're like, "Big Jay, what's up?" I'm like, "What's going on? How are things working?" I'll never go back. Someone said, "I'll never go back." Flawless. Another guy says, "I'm like, oh my god." All right. Well then, cool. That's what. That's proof. That's like proof of concept because I haven't failed either. Now I have trades that are upside down right now, but I haven't failed. Not one failed trade. And remember that here's another one too, folks. When you're never invest anything you're not willing to lose. That's like key investment tip number 101. I don't give people advice. I'll give you a tip. I'll give you, some kind of whatever, general information. Never invest anything you're not willing to lose. And if you do that, fuck it. If you lose it, so what? It's like going to the casino for a night. You put $200 in the casino. I've lost thousands at the casino. But I wasn't mad about it because I didn't go there with the intent of like walking out of there. And I went there expecting to lose, and that's what happened. It wasn't like I was trying to go there and didn't take the money I needed to pay back the farm or whatever. So if you do that when you're investing into investments, you go into it with the mindset of, what, I could go buy a cake or I could go buy some crypto. I could go buy. It's like it doesn't matter. You're only investing, so you're not going to lose. But when it doesn't lose, and when you don't lose, when you start generating things, and you're like, "Whoa, this is a win-win. How come I keep winning? How is this? Oh man, this is interesting." So this is another way to make money, and then you can there's so many different ways to make money, folks. In order to be successful in this system, you need to have, at least I hear, you need to have 7 forms of income. 7? I only had 1. I only worked for my money. Like my whole life, I worked like yep. I'm not going to say like a slave, but when I worked in America here, 10 years of my life with 30% of my income going to my government, I literally worked 3 out of 10 years for free. Free. So is that slavery? I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that one. But now I have a chance to at least make my money work for me. I don't have to go out and work for it as hard. And I'm not in a position to go out and work for it being paralyzed. It sucks. But tell you what, the more you know, the more you can make yourself successful. Because no one's going to make you successful. You're going to make yourself successful. But I'll give you guys a blueprint for success. Hey, I will share it as freely as I can, as often as I can, as much as I can, because I just think that's important. When I woke up from that hospital, when I woke up from a 9-day coma and kind of like looked up at the ceiling, I'm paralyzed. I was laying there, I'm thinking like, oh my God, Lord, you kept me around, paralyzed, like you kept me, like I lived through that accident. You can't now I can't even, oh well, here you go, take the keys. What did you keep me around for? And like literally 3 words like smacked my head. It said love, integrity, and honor. So I just feel that's the most important way to operate. That's why I'm kind of whistleblowing on all these weird market manipulators in crypto. And I'm not going to stop doing it just because people don't like me. I'm not making friends doing this. Day traders are hating me. When I go on TikTok and I start talking about this stuff, dude, I get muted. And day traders, I'll jump into these crypto traders lives over in TikTok, and I'll start asking, hey, what does Wintermute do? Who's Cumberland? And what is a liquidator, on an exchange? And what really moves this market? And can you explain what happened on the 26th of December with the options trading and why these companies dumped the price of or dump Bitcoin with their sell-offs, and people traded. I'm like, hey, I'll even jump in this. I'm like, hey, Kate, can you tell me, are you using an institutional algorithm to trade on? And they'll mute me. They'll mute me and then block me. I start laughing because I'll take a little screenshot and then I'll make a post on it. Hey, guess what, guys? These guys muted me when I started asking them about the corruption and the manipulation and who's responsible. And when I started pointing it out, they told me to shh, silence, plebe. I'm not a plebe. Oh, you're robbing from retail traders with those algorithms. You're not even telling people. You're just amplifying the effect. You're not even warning people who are like, well, what if they're not going to pay you for that algorithm? Then they're going to get wrecked. If they don't. I think that's just wrong. So that's not how I operate. Never, never, no, not gonna happen. Not on my watch, folks. So tune in for more and see what else I come across. And as soon as I come across it, you'll be hearing about it. I'll be able to be live. All right, guys. Check out my other content if you want to know some good sound positioning in the crypto market for the future quantum financial system. And on that note, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful night.